Welcome friends to this video talk on current affairs, banking and economy. Let's begin our discussion from the previous, we'll continue the discussion that we have had over the last 10 sessions. Which of the following is not a component of revenue receipts? Which of the following is not a component of revenue receipts? Now, there are two major kinds of revenues the government has: capital revenues, capital receipts and revenue receipts. So the answer to this question is 4. The answer to this question is 4, earnings from disinvestment. So what I'm going to do is to ask you to take some notes on different kinds of receipts and expenditures. So please write. Revenue receipts. Revenue receipts. Underline that. उसके नीचे लिखिए tax revenue. Tax revenue. In brackets, direct and indirect taxes. Direct and indirect taxes. Direct taxes would be, what is a good example of direct tax? Income tax, corporate tax. What's a good example of indirect tax? Goods and services tax, GST. Union excise duty. So we mentioned tax revenue in brackets, direct and indirect, and non-tax revenue in brackets like dividends and stamp duty non-tax revenue like dividends and stamp duty. So what is what's dividend? Underline the word dividend, put a down arrow, right? 1, we'll write 2 things, okay? 1, distributed profit. Second point, return on investment in shares. Return on investment in shares. See, when you lend money, you earn interest. Yes, that is the return on lending, the return on loan, that is interest income. But when you invest in the shares of the company, you provide capital. As a provider of the capital, you become a co-owner of the company. A shareholder is a co-owner. Okay. Now, obviously, as a co-owner of a company, you would have a right to share in the profits. So when a company makes a profit and declares a dividend, it says this is a dividend for the entire, for all the shareholders. So proportionate to whatever you invest, you would get your dividend. So dividend is that part of profit which is distributed among shareholders. That's why it's called distributed profit. So we mentioned revenue receipts, which are like 2 kinds. 1, we mentioned tax revenue, indirect tax revenue in brackets, direct and indirect taxes, and non-tax revenue like in brackets like dividends and stamp duty. Stamp duties on registration, or documentation work. Next, capital receipts. Revenue expenditure. Let's write this. Revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure is kind of कैसे खर्चे को revenue expenditure कहते हैं, right? To meet routine expenses like salaries and pensions. Dash non-asset creating, इससे कोई asset create नहीं होता, ये सिर्फ खर्चे है. ओके, सैलरीज पे करना, तनख्वाह पे करना, किसी की पेंशन है, किसी की सब्सिडी है, it means these are expenses in the normal course of life. Okay, so see, when you use the word like, you don't use the word etc., etc. in the same sentence. Okay, Like means one or two kind of examples. Etc. means और है. वैसे भी हम like में बोल रहे हैं कि और है. So एक दो example दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे. So we mentioned to meet routine expenses like salaries and pensions. Dash non-asset creating. ठीक है? Next, capital receipts. Capital receipts. मुझे एक्चुअली हिंदी शब्द मालूम नहीं है कैपिटल रिसीट्स को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं और रेवेन्यू रिसीट्स को क्या कहते हैं, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर को क्या कहते हैं, बट आई एम श्योर यू वुड नो. या इफ यू आर नॉट ग्रेटली कंफर्टेबल, इफ यू हैड सम बैकग्राउंड इन हिंदी, आई एम श्योर यू वुड बी फेमिलियर विद दिस वर्ड्स. सो ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट. या राइट, कैपिटल रिसीट्स. Capital receipts. Dash or below that, underline that, below that. Recoveries of loans, comma, grants received, grants, grants received, and disinvestment proceeds. Disinvestment, वहाँ पे देखिए चॉइस 4 में वर्ड है disinvestment proceeds, PROCEEDS, disinvestment proceeds और earnings, वहाँ पे जो लिखा है वो लिख सकते हैं आप. देखिए कैपिटल रिसीट्स किस प्रकार की होती है. You have lent money. Say India had lent some money. India had lent some money to Sri Lanka. We get back that money. What we lent is basically a loan. Yeah, we lent our asset, our income, our money to them. So we get it back. So our asset comes back. So it's a recovery of loan, and recovery of loan in this case is an asset. Okay, that's what it's treated as capital receipt. Remember, the word capital relates to the word asset, asti. Okay, the word capital relates to asset. So grants received. Let's say sometimes some countries would grant us some money. It doesn't happen nowadays. Yeah, earlier it used to happen that we would recover. We would get some loan at a very, very low interest rate, almost no interest. That would be a grant. Okay, and then of course disinvestment. Yesterday we had discussed what's disinvestment and everything. Yes, we took the target also. The target for this financial year is 1.2 lakh crore, and the target for previous financial year was 1.05 lakh crore. तो हमने क्या कहा था कि we mentioned that disinvestment is sale of government shareholding without transferring management capital. Okay, so सरकार कुछ shares बेचती है कोल इंडिया लिमिटेड में, NTPC में. So that money that comes in, what is it selling? It's selling its asset. So when it's selling its asset, the money that comes in cannot be a revenue receipt. It can only be a capital receipt. So next, capital expenditure. Capital expenditure. तो किस प्रकार का खर्चे को हम कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर कहते हैं. Dash anything that leads to asset creation. Anything that leads to asset creation. Dash like roads, airports and dams. देखिए simple सा. Yeah, so this is a classification, friends. So remember, the word capital relates to the word asset. Revenue receipts, typical revenue expenditure, everything, it's every day, almost everyday kind of thing. So the answer to this question is 4, and we kind of discuss this quite comprehensively. So 0. Okay, चलिए यहाँ से चलते हैं next question. Who won the men's singles title at the 2020 Australian Open? I think we did take these notes. If you could, let's take this as revision. What's the answer to this question? Novak Djokovic. Choice 4. Novak Djokovic. And किनको हराया था इन्होंने? इन्होंने नोवाक जोकोविच ने हराया था डोमिनिक थिएम को. Choice 5. You want to write the names of the countries they belong to? Novak Djokovic, in brackets, Serbia, SERBIA, Serbia. Serbia. Dominic Thiem, in brackets, Austria. Austria, Austria, Austria. रोजर फेडरर को तो उनका नाम तो आपने सुना ही होगा, स्विट्जरलैंड. इनफैक्ट 2 and 3 belong to Switzerland. 2 and 3 belong to Switzerland. And if I'm not wrong, choice 1, Martin Del Potro, belongs to Argentina. I'm not very sure, but I think it's Argentina. The guy belongs to Argentina. So 2 and 3, Switzerland. 4, Serbia. 5, Austria. And the answer to this question is Novak Djokovic. So if he had won the men's singles title, who won the women's singles title? So you could write women's singles title. Women's singles title. Sofia Kenin. Sofia. Sofia. Sofia Kenin. 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 Sofia Kenin. In brackets, US. America. US. Dash. Beat. B-E-A-T. Beat. Garbine Muguruza. Garbine. G-A-R. I repeat. G-A-R-B-I-N-E. G-A-R-B-I-N-E. Garbine Muguruza. M-U-G-U-R-U-Z-A. Garbine Muguruza. Garbine Muguruza. In brackets, Spain. 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 चलिए यहाँ से आगे चलते हैं. And see, in a year there are 4 Grand Slam tennis events. Australian Open typically in January. You have the French Open sometime in April, May, and then we have the Wimbledon in June, July, and the Australian Open, and the US Open sometime in September. But this time the Wimbledon and French Open have been cancelled. Have been postponed, they say, but more or less unlikely to happen anytime soon. And from here, the International Day of Education is observed on. When is it observed? It's observed on January 24th. January 24th. चलिए, तो choices के बारे में लिखते हैं थोड़ा. January 10th. January 10th. World Hindi Day. World Hindi Day. विश्व हिंदी दिवस. World Hindi Day. Yeah. And March 16th. National Vaccination Day. National Vaccination Day. VACCINATION. Vaccination Day. So January 10th is Hindi Day. March 16th is Vaccination Day. April 5th, National Maritime Day. National Maritime, M-A-R-I-T-I-M-E, Maritime, M-A-R-I-T-I-M-E, Maritime Day, National Maritime Day. Last one, April 30th, Ayushman Bharat Divas. Ayushman Bharat Divas. Ayushman Bharat Divas. ठीक है, तो एक काम करते हैं हम. We will write about because we are pretty much, there are 2 choices in April and we are in April and the WHO is in news for all the wrong reasons. तो हम WHO के बारे में कुछ लिखते हैं. लिखिए, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. अंडरलाइन दैट. उसके नीचे लिखिए फर्स्ट पॉइंट, एस्टैब्लिश्ड. 7th April 1948. 7th April 1948. 7th April 1948. 7 अप्रैल को अंडरलाइन कीजिए, उसके नीचे एरो खींचिए और नहीं तो कहीं भी एरो लेके जाइए। वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे, इसलिए इसको वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे, बिकॉज ऑन दिस डे in 1948 the World Health Organization was established. Next point, head office. Head office. Head office is in Geneva. 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 Where is Geneva? Come on. Switzerland. Switzerland. Geneva, Switzerland. Geneva, Switzerland. Next, Director General. Director General. Who's the Director General? This guy is in news. Expect this guy's name in the exam. Okay? Tedros Adhanom. T-E-D. I repeat. T-E-D-R-O-S. Tedros Adhanom. A-D-H-A-N-O-M. A-D-H-A-N-O-M. Tedros Adhanom. In brackets, Ethiopia. He's from Ethiopia. E-T-H-I-O-P-I-A. Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Next. एक और नाम लिखते हैं, Deputy Director General. Deputy Director General. You can expect this question as well. The name of this person. Deputy Director General. DDG. Dash. Soumya Swaminathan. Soumya Swaminathan. Soumya Swaminathan. India. She's from India. So आपने देखा होगा कि अब तक हम whenever we have got a chance we have pulled in extra information. This is something I really enjoy doing, pulling in extra information so that we get more out of the questions that we have. Just knowing the answer won't help. Something extra always does. And you would have seen that in all the discussions we have had, it's about 5 questions in all the 25 questions in each set. There are only 5 questions where we touch into. The rest 20 we discuss quite comprehensively, and especially wherever there is a chance for deeper discussion, economics, banking, we go much deeper. Your feedback says that you enjoy learning like this, so that's good for us, that's good for all of us. I'm a teacher, so it's good for me. Okay, which has become the first urban cooperative bank that has been granted in principle permission to convert into a small finance bank? The answer is Shivalik Mercantile Cooperative Bank Limited. There's hardly anything to discuss here. Choice 4. Shivalik. You know Shivalik's mountain range? The lower Himalayas are called Shivalik. Shivalik mountain range. Shivalik Mercantile Cooperative Bank. Choice 4 is the answer. But Shivalik, जो Himalayas के निचले mountains होते हैं, the lowest range, it's called Shivalik. So from here, this is a good question. The return on investment is lower than expected when prices of goods and services rise suddenly and abnormally, and such a situation is known as inflation risk. Inflation risk. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? What is inflation? Write one line. Write 2 lines. Inflation. Underline this word inflation. Right? Rise, R-I-C. Rise in the general price level. Rise, R-I-C. Rise in the general, G-E-N-E-R-A. General price level. The general price level. As a result of increase in demand without an equal increase without an equal increase in supply. In supply. देखिए काफी लंबा डेफिनेशन है, इसको हम छोटा भी कर सकते थे. पिछली बार हमने जब लिखा था, when we had written this in the past, we wrote a shorter one, like rise in general price level due to higher demand and lower supply. Simple, yes. So, but sometimes, you know, when we are speaking, like this is an oral class, so it just comes like this. So, a rise in the general price level due to a rise in demand without an equal increase in supply. That's it. So that's inflation. Next point. Inflation reduces the purchasing value of money. Inflation reduces the purchasing value of money. Value of money. Inflation reduces the purchasing value of money. Okay, let me explain how this works. When prices rise, and price is not just one price, the price of this pen or this glass, no. The price of a lot of commodities. There is a basket of commodities which the government takes for measuring inflation. So, last year, exactly 1 year back, if the basket had cost 100 rupees, that basket of commodities had cost 100 rupees, and the price of that basket today is 104 rupees. It means inflation rate is 4%. So in other words, if you read in the paper inflation is 4%, it means that a basket that had cost 100 rupees last year, exactly 1 year back, today cost 104 rupees. It means the value, the price of that basket of commodities has increased by 4 rupees or 4%. That's it, nothing else. So that percent increase represents an increase, in the price of the basket of commodities. Now, is it good to invest when we know when prices are rising? How should you invest? The question relates to that, return on investment. चलिए, आपके पास 10,000 रुपए. Let's say you have 10,000 rupees. I'll give you a simple example. You have 10,000 rupees. You go to a bank. Okay. You tell the manager, Mr. Manager, I want to put this in an FD with your bank. The manager says, pretty well, sir. Here's a form, fill in the form, deposit there. You're most welcome to be here, to be our customer. So the guy says, okay, 10,000 rupees you have invested. We will pay you an interest of 6%, 1 year. 6% per annum. In the bank, the value of your money will increase by 6%. Okay? Let's say inflation is 4%. In the bank, it's increasing by 6%. Outside the bank, the value of the money is decreasing by 4%. What is your actual return? 2%. 2%. You understand this? Now, what are the terms we have used? 6% interest the bank promises is called nominal rate of interest. What is it? Nominal rate of interest. So, interest earned, the rate of return earned, before inflation is nominal. It's called nominal interest. So we could write nominal interest dash rate of return before inflation. Rate of return before inflation. It's called pre-inflation. हम ordinary भाषा इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Okay. So next, real rate of return dash rate of return after accounting for inflation. Simple. Okay. चलिए हम एक उसी एग्जाम्पल को कंटिन्यू करते हैं. Let me repeat. In the bank, in 1 year, the value of your money will increase by 6%. Okay? So, 6% is the nominal rate of return. Inflation rate outside is 4%. In the same period, the value of your money will decrease by 4%. So, effective rate of return or real rate of return is 2%. Okay? Let's take this one. In bank interest rate is 6%. Let's say inflation is 8%. Inflation is 8%. So will you be earning money or losing money? You will be losing money, minus 2%. So real rate of return will be minus. You actually lose money when you invest in places where the returns are not more than the rate of inflation. So whenever you invest money, and it is not investment advice, it is this question, okay? At basic commonsensical approach, that whenever you invest money, you should always look at the rate of inflation. And this is the reason why a lot of people who are deeply conservative when it comes to investment, they don't do well, because they put their money in FDs and all that. While it's safe, you also have to look at what's the cost of that safety. So the answer to this question is, of course, 4, inflation risk. So I am sure you got the answer to this, your investment problems. Please don't advise your elders at home that you should look at. You first calculate, you look at basically how do they work. Learn from them. I'm sure they will be a lot more sensible and wiser than we are, than you and I are. So this is the touch and go question. Who won the 100 Global Child Prodigy Award 2020 in the category of singing? This answer is choice 4, Sujata Satish. This is a 13-year-old girl. 13 साल की लड़की है, बहुत छोटी उम्र की है, और she got this award for 2 things. One, she sang in 120 languages. Can you believe that? She can sing in 120 languages. And second, it's not that she speaks all these languages, but please understand, people can, जैसे हम टाइप करते हैं हिंदी में, इंग्लिश में टाइप करते हैं कैसे हो, KAISE, कैसे हो, like that, okay? But enunciation, the sounds, everything have to be, right. So it's a great skill, my friends. It's a great skill. So 2 reasons for which she got this prize. One is, of course, being able to sing in 120 languages, and 2, the longest concert by a child. लिखना चाहते हैं आप, लिखिए, मैं बताता हूँ आपको, राइट। ये आप लिखिए, अवार्ड का नाम लिखिए पहले, 100 ग्लोबल चाइल्ड प्रोडिजी अवार्ड 2020 डैश सपोर्टेड बाय कौन देता है एक्चुअली, सपोर्टेड बाय डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Foundation, and enough. It is supported by a lot of people like A.R. Rahman, the great music director from India. Yeah, so that's not important. Okay, next point. Winner dash Sucheta Satish for point 1 being able to sing, or rather for singing in 120 languages, and now reason 2 for the longest concert by a child, longest concert, CONCERT, concert by a child, for the longest concert by a child. By a child. She lives in Dubai, friends. Okay. From here, I think that's a fairly simple question. Identify the scheme launched by the Union Minister of Steel, Dharmendra Pradhan, to develop India's eastern region into an integrated steel hub. The name of the scheme, just go by the choices. Which of these words relates to east? Purvodaya. Please write this. Purvodaya dash accelerated development or faster development, simple word, faster, faster, faster development of Northeast India through establishment of an integrated steel hub with focus on better logistical logistical and utilities infrastructure, utilities utilities infrastructure. Logistical means roads, better roads, railways, basically transportation, and in this case utilities would mean power. Without power facility, supply, continuous power supply, steel development and steel production cannot happen. So that's the idea to one major industrial thing that could help develop this Northeast is steel, my friends. That is what the government of India has come up with. It's a scheme that they are really focused on. I'll just discuss one more, that Indradhanush, choice 5, Indradhanush dash universal immunization, universal vaccination or universal immunization, IMMUNISATION. I repeat, IMMUNISATION, immunization through vaccination, universal immunization through vaccination, VACCINATION, vaccination. Okay. Which of the following is a regulator of all credit rating agencies in India? There are plenty of rating agencies like CRISIL, CARE, ICRA, Brookings. So I would suggest not Brookings, Brickwork. Look at choice 2. That's the answer. Securities and Exchange Board of India. 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 Right. Names of some credit agencies, credit rating agencies. Right. Names of some credit rating agencies. Okay. Credit rating agencies. Underline that. Like dash CRISIL, CRISIL, CRISIL. Do you want the full form? Okay. ठीक है, लिखिए. CRISIL in brackets. Credit rating and information services of India Limited. Credit rating and information services of India Limited. ओके. एक और एजेंसी का नाम लिखिए, CARE, CARE in brackets, credit analysis and research limited. Credit analysis and research limited. Credit Analysis and Research Limited. थर्ड एजेंसी लिखते हैं, 4 लिखते हैं. थर्ड वन इकरा, ICRA. एक जमाने में इसका फुल फॉर्म होता था, अभी फुल फॉर्म नहीं है. आप वेबसाइट देख सकते हैं कंपनी की, अभी फुल फॉर्म नहीं है मेरे फ्रेंड्स. ओके, से काफी ऐसी लास्ट वन, फोर्थ ब्रिक वर्क रेटिंग, BRICKWORK. I repeat, BRICKWORK. Brickwork rating, rating dash, promoted by, this is important, promoted by Canara Bank, promoted by Canara Bank. Okay guys, hey, I was discussing full forms and everything. See, ICRA का पहले फुल फॉर्म होता था, अभी नहीं है. पहले होता था इन्वेस्टमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन एंड क्रेडिट सर्विसेज लिमिटेड, क्रेडिट रेटिंग्स एजेंसी. अभी नहीं है. आपने ICICI का नाम सुना होगा, ICICI बैंक, आप जानते, मुझे मालूम है. ICICI Bank, see in the past, ICICI Bank was established in 1955 as Investment Credit and Investment Credit and, I'm so sorry, मैं तब से रेटिंग्स के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ तो वही आ रहा है, इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं आ रहा. So ICICI stood for Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India. Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India. ये 1955 में स्टार्ट किया. It was started as a DFI, Development Financial Institution. What is it? Development Financial Institution, DFI. So guys, the major work of Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India was to lend money, to provide capital to private sector industrial units. Okay, but in the 90s, the government of India said, let's not have this, because a lot of private sector companies were going to the stock market to raise money, capital market, IPO, share issues. So see, loan लेने से क्या होता है कि you have to pay interest on the loan, whereas capital market means shares and everything. Shares, you don't have to pay any interest. So it's a good thing for a company. So ICICI turned into a retail bank. पहले कॉर्पोरेट लेंडर थी, उसके बाद रिटेल लेंडर. इट स्टार्टेड अ बैंक, it began to lend to people like you and me, individual customers, retail customers. Slowly the government of India sold all the shares in ICICI Bank and that turned into a private sector company. आज ICICI बैंक का कोई फुल फॉर्म नहीं है, ICICI का कोई फुल फॉर्म नहीं है फ्रेंड्स. ओके, so this is a very good example. ICICI does not have a full form. एक जमाने में था, आज नहीं है. आपने ITC का भी नाम सुना होगा, ITC Limited. ITC. When it started in 1910, it was called Imperial Tobacco Company. Then for a long time, the name stuck, Imperial Tobacco Company. 70 के दशक में, I think 74 sometime, they changed the name. Indian Tobacco Company कर दिया. लेकिन पिछले 10 साल से 10-12 साल से वो कंपनी का पूरा नाम इस्तेमाल ही नहीं करती. They don't use the name of the full name of the company because tobacco has negative connotations. So they have diversified their businesses into a lot of things. They are into stationery like Classmate. You have expressions greeting cards. You have Will's Lifestyle. They have this. When I say you, I'm talking to the company. They are into what we say. They are into hotels business, ITC hotels. They own Fortune hotels. They own Mangaldeep Agarbatti. Yeah. Oh, they own Ashirwad, Sunfeast. All these brands are owned by them. It's a huge company, friends. Mega company. It's a 60,000 crore company. It's not an ordinary company. So आज वो पूरा नाम इस्तेमाल नहीं करते. ITC they don't use a full form. pretty much like old Ikra. Okay, so I wanted to share this information so that it remains with you. Yeah, and you know the full forms of all this. Reserve Bank of India. Okay, you know PFRDA. PFRDA is Pension Fund and Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. I think we took this name, the full form in the past. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Who is the chairman? Supratim Bandyopadhyay. Supratim Bandyopadhyay. Supratim Bandyopadhyay. Choice 4. Association of Mutual Funds in India. Association of Mutual Funds in India. Okay. Who's the CEO? NS Venkatesh, right? CEO, they have a C. NS Venkatesh. Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh recently launched the 51st K9 Vajra T gun. Basically, it's a kind of a tank. It's a tank. Which Indian company manufactures this gun? It's not a normal banduk gun money. It's a tank. Okay. The answer is Larsen and Toubro. L&T. तो दो डेनमार्क के दो बंदे थे, हेमिंग हॉक लार्सन एंड सॉरेन टूब्रो, जिन्होंने कंपनी स्टार्ट की थी. हाल ही बेसिकली दिस इज एन इंडियन कंपनी. ओके, इट इज इंडियाज लार्जेस्ट इंजीनियरिंग कंपनी. तो आप एक काम कीजिए, आप यू राइट वज्रा T9 गन मेड बाय L&T Defense, comma, a joint venture between L&T and Samsung, Samsung. अब एक वर्ड दूंगा, फर्स्ट लेटर कैपिटल. टेक्विन, TECHWIN, TECHWIN, Techwin. Samsung Techwin. Okay. Do you know about this company in choice 2, Bharat Forge? 1, 4, 5 are all private public sector companies. No, I'm not interested. Look at choice 2, Bharat Forge. You write Bharat Forge dash part of Kalyani Group dash engineering and fabrication company. Engineering and fabrication company. Engineering and fabrication company. Underline Kalyani Group, pull it down arrow, right? Chairman dash Baba Kalyani, BABA, Baba Kalyani. Oh, it's a big company, man. It's what? It's about a 15,000 crore company. It's not an ordinary company. And this guy, Baba Kalyani, is, if I'm not wrong, a PhD from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So, yeah. And what does it do? I'll just give you an idea. Bharat Forge, apart from being into defense and everything of late, technically, generally, it's been a fabrication company, engineering company. जैसे कि एक कार, आपकी बाइक है, कार है आपके पास, तो उसमें क्लच होता है, काफ़ी पार्ट्स होते हैं. तो the company might find, your company car, the brand might find it difficult to make them, or they may make them at a very high cost. So they would like to give this work to someone who can do the same, who can do the same thing at a much lower cost, at a much lower price. So this outsourcing is done by companies like Forge. Yes, it's a huge company, my friends. Some of its customers include some of the world's, include Ford, General Motors. You have Volkswagen. Volkswagen कहते हैं, क्या कहते हैं? Volkswagen. V से लिखते हैं, F से उच्चारण करते हैं. Volks, it comes from two separate words. Volkswagen. Volks means people in German. Wagen means car. People's car is Volkswagen. Okay? So it's a very large company, friends. From here, an Indian rupee denominated bond issued outside India, you could say issued or issued. An Indian rupee denominated bond issued outside India is called masala. It's called masala bond. मैं आपको थोड़ा नोट्स देता हूँ इसके बारे में, आप इन सभी के बारे में, चॉइसेस के बारे में, ओके, स्पेशली 1, 2, 4, 5. प्लीज राइट. Masala bond. Right. Issued outside India. Issued outside India by an Indian corporate. By an Indian corporate. To raise funds. To raise funds. To raise RAIS. Raise funds. To raise funds. Companies, or for the matter individuals, always borrow from a source where the rate of interest is low. So if fund availability is not an issue, rate of interest is not an issue, you could borrow anyway. But if market A charges a high rate of interest, you would like to go to market B where the rate of interest is low. So this is what Indians do. In fact, everyone does. You go to a market where the rate of interest is low, where the cost of borrowing, rate of interest is cost of borrowing, where the cost of borrowing is low. Okay, so masala bond. Next, Yankee bond. Choice 1. Yankee bond. Dash. Bond issued by a foreign entity. Foreign company is a better word. Foreign company in the US, by a foreign company in the US to raise funds. Yeah, ये मसाला बॉन्ड थोड़ा अलग है. Masala bond is when Indians issue bonds outside India. But here, when Yankee bond is where a foreign bank, a foreign organization issues a bond in America. The nickname for Americans is Yankee. Typically for New Yorkers, the word is Yankee. Not everyone, all Americans, New Yorkers. But New York is home to Wall Street, and Wall Street is the global hub of finance, my friends. Bulldog brand. चलिए मैं रिपीट करता हूँ यांकी बॉन्ड के लिए. Bond issued, Yankee bond, okay? Bond issued by a foreign entity in the US, to raise funds. Next, Bulldog. There is a particular kind of breed of dogs, Bulldog, British Bulldog. See, this name stuck. They come from the features of these places, or some nicknames associated with these places. Bulldog. Dash. Bond issued by a foreign entity. Bond issued by a foreign entity in the UK to raise funds. Next, last one, samurai bond. With which country would you associate the word samurai? Japan. So right. A bond issued a bond issued by a foreign entity, foreign company in Japan to raise funds. आपको एक और बात जाननी है यहाँ पे. All these bonds are issued in the local currency. Please note that. Are issued in the local currency. Yankee bond in American local currency. British Bulldog brand, that is Bulldog bond, is in the British pound. It's issued in British pound. Samurai bond in Japanese yen, YEN. So cost of funds is a major issue, friends. ब्याज की दर के हिसाब से कहाँ चाहते हैं हम ब्याज उधार लेने, ब्याज की दर पर निर्भर होता है. It's always dependent on the rate of interest. So I think bonds are fine, friends. From there, which city hosted the third Global Potato Conclave 2020? Gandhinagar. If possible, I'll tell you the story of potato tomorrow. Okay, I'll write it here. Potato. जैसे मैंने मेडागास्कर की स्टोरी बताई थी, which is not related to your bank exams, whatever exams you sit for, my friends. I'll bring in the story of potato, in the next session. Potato changed the world. Aloo changed the world. How? We'll discuss later. So anyway, the third Global Potato Conclave took place in Gandhinagar, which is in Gujarat, which is the capital of Gujarat. Okay. एक organization, this is only our meetings. We'll just go to the next question. Which the following refers to? I think there is an error, friends. It should not be Allahabad. It should be Prayagraj. I am so sorry for this. Sometimes whenever our team makes these questions, things go bad. We just, things don't work. But it's okay. We'll be careful next time. Which of the following refers to the amount spent on buying fixed assets? Asset. Remember the word asset. Which of these words relate to the word asset? Capital. So choice 3. Capital assets. So building खरीदनी है, plant and machinery खरीदनी है. These are all fixed assets. So the answer will be capital expenditure. Variable expenses क्या होता है? Current bill, electricity cost. This is variable expense. Rent is a variable expense. Okay. So from here we know about all these things except the answer. Which of the following methods is not used by the Reserve Bank of India as part of credit control measures? SLR, CRR, OMO, WMA. एक काम करते हैं. We have taken notes on 2 and 3. We have not taken any notes on SLR. Please write this. Statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio. Underline that. Percentage of deposits. Percentage of deposits kept by a commercial bank in the form of highly liquid assets or very simple, in highly liquid assets like gold and government bonds dash current. Okay, this is done dash this is done done to avoid right in capital letters this phrase, to avoid a run on the bank, run R-U-N, run on the bank, B-A-N-K, run on the bank, in brackets, panic withdrawals, panic, P-A-N-I-C, panic withdrawals. So what exactly is this? Okay, you want to write the current rate dash current SLR 18%. 18%. So we know what is CRR. It is kept with the RBI. Current rate is 3%. So 3% of whatever a bank collects has to be kept with the RBI. Okay? 18% is SLR. But SLR is kept by the bank with itself. But in what form? It has to put this in highly liquid assets. Gold hai, government securities hai, they carry zero risk, almost zero risk. Okay? So you see this now. A bank gets 100 rupees. 3 rupees goes into 3% goes into RBI's lockers as CRR. 18% goes into these bonds, so 21%. Then it will have to keep about 30-35% for its own administrative costs and everything else, salaries and everything. Margin money plus margin and everything. Then it lends about 30-35%. 100 में से 100 रुपए बैंक पे डिपॉजिट कलेक्ट करती है, my friends. 30 से 35 रुपए एडवांस करती है, दैट इज लोन देती है. बस बाकी का सभी कहीं ना कहीं इन्वेस्ट हुआ होता है. Now sometimes what happens is that there could be panic in the market. एक खतरे की घंटी बज जाती है, जैसे कि अरे एक्स बैंक डूबने वाली है, एक्स बैंक is going to go bankrupt. So what do? People rush to withdraw their money. Okay? Today there are ATMs, but back in those days, in the 70s, 60s, 80s, before ATMs came, before ATMs became widespread, people used to run to the nearest branch to withdraw their money. They literally ran over the place. सभी उसमें भगदड़ बन जाते थे. So this entire sequence, this situation is called run on the bank. So to avoid this, so एक साथ अगर thousands of people come to ask the bank, give us our money back, where will the bank give the money? Okay, it won't. You can't recall. Oh, we have lent you money. Please give it back. No, it can't do that. So it has to invest in gold and all. So which could be sold immediately and got, which could be गिरवी रख सकते हैं, बेच सकते हैं, whatever it could be done. Immediately things could be changed into cash and paid to investors, paid to depositors. That's a basic idea behind SLR. Okay. So what is choice 4? Ways and means advances. Please write this. Ways and means advances. Ways and means advances. Dash. Facility, FACILITY, facility for both the central government, and state governments to borrow from the RBI, especially when there is a mismatch, when there is a temporary mismatch, in cash flows of their receipts, 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 P silent there, of the receipts and expenditures of the expenses. Temporary facilities for both the central government and the state governments to borrow from the RBI, especially in times of temporary mismatches in cash flows of their receipts and expenditures. Dash. Maximum period allowed 3 months. Is 3 months. Dash. Money lent by RBI under WMA, ways and means advances. under WMA is charged at repo rate interest. Is charged repo rate interest. Is charged repo rate interest. RBI को मुफ्त में देती नहीं है, कभी भी पैसा मुफ्त में नहीं होता. There is nothing called a free lunch. Okay, free gift दुकान के बाद होता है. Gift तो free होता है. Yeah, but the use of the word free mean it attracts people. But then nothing is free. You have to buy something. So I think you got this fairly clearly. It's basically temporary. Ways and means. कहाँ से लाए, क्या कैसे करें, different ways and means. Okay. Under the Union Budget 2021, what was the amount allocated for skill development and the education sector? Oh, just under 1 lakh crore rupees. That is 99,300 crore. Choice 4. Choice 4. Next. Pritzker Prize is related to. It's related to architecture. It's related to architecture. लिखिए इस बार. Pritzker Prize. Pritzker Prize. Underline this. Right. First one. Named after J Pritzker. वहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है. J Pritzker. Next. Nicknamed Nobel of Architecture. Nobel Prize of Architecture. Nobel Prize of Architecture. Next. 2020 winners. 2020 winners. Yoni Farren, Y-V-O-N-N-E. I repeat, Y-V-O-N-N-E. Yoni Farren, F-A-R-R-E-L-L. And Shelley, S-H-E-L-L-E-Y. Shelley. McNamara, M-C-N-A-M-A-R-A. Shelley McNamara, M-C-N-A-M-A-R-A. McNamara. In brackets, both from Ireland. Both from Ireland. I think they're partners. Both from Ireland. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. Who is the chairman of the Monetary Policy Committee? The MPC is RBI governor. Who is the current RBI governor? Shaktikanta Das. Who is the finance minister of India? Nirmala Sitharaman. Who is the finance secretary? Oh, I have no clue, my friends. Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. Home Minister, Amit Shah. Okay. Which of the following is are included in the foreign exchange reserves possessed by the RBI? All of them. All of them. I will discuss this entire thing. We have already discussed special drawing rates in the past. So as we go further, we'll keep discussing newer stuff, my friends. Right now, I think we are discussing stock markets. What is the theme of the Financial Literacy Week conducted by the RBI in February 2020? Choice 3. There should be a greater focus on MSMEs. That's what the RBI has said. There should be greater lending. We need to promote them, all that stuff. So, choice 3. Okay. There's nothing to discuss. Which of the following countries have euro as their national currency? In fact, I think there is an error there. Estonia has euro, Latvia has euro, Lithuania has euro, Hungary doesn't have euro, So it should not be all of this. It should be 1, 2, 4. You just make it this way. 1, 2, 4. Please make the correction. 1, 2, 4. नहीं तो एक काम करते हैं. Question को बदलते हैं. Which of the following countries does not have euro as the national currency? That's a good one, isn't it? Does not have euro. Which does not have euro now? Choice 3. Hungary. Which of the following does not have euro as the national currency? Hungary. So एक काम करते हैं, थोड़ा नोट्स बनाते हैं इस सब के बारे में. Shall we? Yeah. Let's make notes, my friends. Right. Estonia. I think AC is off. So Estonia. Dash. हम क्या लिखते हैं? हम generally we write the country, we write the capital, followed by the leader and the currency. Yes, right. Estonia. Dash. Tallinn. 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 Dash. The president's name is Jüri Ratas. Juri. Jüri Ratas. Ratas. Juri. Jüri Ratas. Ratas. Jüri Ratas. Dash. Euro. Next one. Latvia. Latvia. The capital is Riga. Riga. Dash. The prime minister is Christianis. 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 Karins. Karins. Shall I repeat? Krisjanis. Christianis. Karins. 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 Dash. Euro. फिर लिखते हैं हम हंगेरी के बारे में. Choice 3. Hungary. Dash. Budapest. 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 Dash. Viktor Orban. Viktor. Viktor. He's the prime minister. Viktor. Viktor Orban. Orban. A single N. Orban. Viktor Orban. इनकी करेंसी है फॉरेंट. FORINT. I repeat. FORINT. Forint. Choice 4. Lithuania. The capital is Vilnius. Vilnius. I repeat. Vilnius. Vilnius. The president is Gitanas. ये नाम बहुत अलग है क्योंकि हमारे देश के नहीं है. Gitanas. GITANAS. I repeat. GITANAS. Gitanas. Nauseda. NAUSCDA. Itanas Nausida. Itanas Nausida. Okay. All four. So please change the question in your books. Which of the following countries does not have euro as their national currency? Okay, my friends. The answer should be Hungary, because Lithuania's currency is euro. Yeah, last में euro लिख सकते हैं आप. So choice is 1, 2, 4 euro. Hungary forint. FORINT forint. Next, who won the Best Actor award at the 92nd Academy Awards? Choice 3, Joaquin Phoenix. स्पेनिश नेम है, H J की जगह H आता है, लेकिन हम जोक्विन कह सकते हैं. No harm. So choice 3. Shall we write about some of the prizes? Because in the previous session we had taken notes on the BAFTA, British Film and Television Academy Awards. Okay, let's take Oscar Awards. Right, Oscar Awards. Oscar Awards. Oscar Awards. Oscar Awards. Dash 92nd Academy Awards. That's a nickname, my friends. 92nd Academy Awards. That's the actual name. Oscars is a nickname. Okay. So underline that. Right. First one. Best Picture. Best Picture. Dash. Parasite. 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 In brackets, South Korea. South Korea. South Korea. Parasite को I think 5 Oscar मिले. 5, yeah, I guess 5 Oscars. 4 or 5 Oscars. And then, right, Best Director. Best Director. Bong, B-O-N-G, Bong. Bong. June, J-O-O-N, June. I repeat, Bong, B-O-N-G, Bong, space, June, J-O-O-N, June, hyphen, H-O, Ho. Bong Joon Ho. Bong Joon Ho. In brackets, for Parasite. For Parasite. तो देखिए, बेस्ट पिक्चर, बेस्ट डायरेक्टर एक ही फिल्म को मिला. ओके. नेक्स्ट, बेस्ट एक्टर. बेस्ट एक्टर. चॉइस 3 में लिखिए हॉक्विन फिनिक्स. हॉक्विन फिनिक्स. डैश फॉर जोकर. फॉर जोकर, JOKER. For Joker. Next, Best Actress. Best Actress. मुझे याद नहीं है कि हमने लिखा है इसके बारे में, तो लिख रहे हैं इसलिए. Best Actress. Renée Zellweger. Renée, RENEE. RENEE. Renée, actually Renée. Renée Zellweger. ZELLWEGER. Renée Zellweger. Renée Zellweger. In brackets, for Judy Garland. JUDY. 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 Judy Garland. 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 Judy Garland. Judy Garland. Judy Garland. Next, Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actor. चॉइस 5 देखिए वहां पे ब्रैड पिट. प्लीज उनका नाम लिखिए. ब्रैड पिट. ब्रैड पिट. Brad Pitt dash. Brad Pitt dash. What is the film? For Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once, O-N-C-E, once, upon, U-P-O-N, upon, a time, T-I-M, time, in Hollywood, H-O-L-L-Y-W-O-O-D, Hollywood. Last one, Best Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actress. Dash. Laura Dern. L-A-U-R-A. L-A-U-R-A. Laura Dern. D-E-R. Dern. What's the film? Yeah. In brackets, for Marriage Story. Marriage Story. It's a pretty good film. In fact, all the films are good. Paradise is pretty good. Very, convincing. Joker is a bit philosophical, and coming to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it's about, of course, a stunt man, and Marriage Story is about marriage that goes bad, a very loving marriage that goes bad. What happens, the complexity of the relationship, this story. Very good film. You will thoroughly enjoy Marriage Story. The film. So next, which process is followed by banks to obtain information about the identity and address of customers? You know the answer to this question. Choice 2. Know your customer. KYC. KYC. I think nothing to discuss here. KYC. The people of the autonomous region of Bougainville overwhelmingly voted for independence from Papua New Guinea. Heard of this place? Oh, it's in the east, far east actually. One of the easternmost countries. Papua New Guinea. It's a part of the eastern part of a country of an island called New Guinea. Island का नाम है न्यू गिनी. तो इसका जो ईस्टर्न पार्ट है वो ये देश है, वेस्टर्न पार्ट में इंडोनेशिया. So Papua New Guinea, right? Papua New Guinea dash. What's the capital? Port Moresby. P-O-R-T. Port. P-O-R-T. Port Moresby. M-O-R-E-S-B-Y. M-O-R-E-S-B-Y. Port Moresby dash. Who was the president? James Marape. James, J-A-M-E-S, James Marape, M-A-R-A-P-E, M-A-R-A-P-E, James Marape. And the currency is called Kina, K-I-N-A, Kina, K-I-N-A, Kina. इन सब देशों के बारे में लिख चुके हैं, मलेशिया, फिलीपींस, इंडोनेशिया. से काम करते हैं, सिर्फ वियतनाम के बारे में लिखते हैं. ओके, जस्ट वियतनाम. Vietnam dash. Capital Hanoi, H-A-N-O-I, H-A-N-O-I. Hanoi. It's a communist country, single party system country. Okay, dash. I'll spell the word first, then I'll pronounce. Okay, इनके नाम, प्रेसिडेंट के नाम, राष्ट्रपति के नाम में 3 शब्द है, 3 वर्ड्स है. ओके, राइट. N-G-U-Y-E-N, N-G-U-Y-E-N space P-H-U. I repeat, P-H-U space T-R-O-N-G, T-R-O-N-G. So N-G-U-Y-E-N. You know how is it pronounced? Vin. V-I-N. Vin. Yeah. Vin Phu Trong. T-R-O-N-G. Trong. That's the name of the president there. dash. Currency is dong, D-O-N-G, dong. Dong. It sounds like the name of some villain in the Hindi film, old Hindi film, 80s. Okay. The book titled Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid, Raleigh Jefferson's Journal, is written by choice 3, Jeff Kinney. Jeff Kinney. I'm not going to discuss this question, but if you look at choice 4, Ruskin Bond, fabulous writer, friends. A great writer of Indian, Indian fiction. In fact, he's one of the favorites of a lot of children. Yeah, Ruskin Bond की काफी किताबें बिकती है हिंदुस्तान में और he writes basically children's stories. J.K. Rowling, she's of the Harry Potter fame. She wrote the Harry Potter series. Nothing to discuss here. Anything? Yeah. The new Delhi headquarters, Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis, was recently renamed the Dash Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis. इनमें से किनका नाम दिया गया? मनोहर पारिकर, friends. The Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis. Manohar Parrikar, as you know, is a former Chief Minister of Goa and, of course, a former Defense Minister of India. At the time of his passing away, he was the Defense Minister of India. And Gopinath Munde, Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, all, no one's around actually. As per the Forbes World's Best Bank Survey, Dash has been identified as the #1 bank by Indian customers in India. The answer is HDFC Bank. Answer is HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank. Who is the CEO of HDFC Bank? To recall, HDFC Bank CEO is Aditya Puri. Aditya Puri. ICICI Bank CEO is Sandeep Bakshi. SBI Chairman is Rajneesh Kumar. Axis Bank CEO is Amitabh Chaudhary. आज हम स्टॉक मार्केट के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे, बट आई विल गिव यू समथिंग टू लीव विद. ओके, एशियन गेम्स के बारे में कुछ कहता हूँ आपको, प्लीज नोट्स लिखिए. कल नेक्स्ट सेशन में आपको मैं स्टॉक इन्वेस्टर्स के बारे में बताऊंगा. या लेट्स टेक अ ब्रेक फ्रॉम द स्टॉक मार्केट्स, दे आरंट डूइंग वेल एनीवे. ओके, just write subheading Asian Games. Underline this. Inaugural games. First games. Dash New Delhi. In brackets. Also in 1982. Hey, did we write inaugural games 1951? Did we write the year? I'm not so sure, my friends. Let me repeat. Asian Games, underline. First games dash 1951 dash Delhi. 1951 dash Delhi. Underline Delhi. Pull it down arrow. Right. Again in 1982. So first games dash 1951 dash New Delhi. Underline Delhi. Put it down arrow, right? Again in 1982. Next point. 2018 Asian Games. 2018 एशियन गेम्स ये हो चुके हैं, लेकिन लिखते हैं. ओके, हम लिखते हैं एशियन गेम्स डैश जकार्ता JAKARTA जकार्ता डैश पालमबांग PALEMBANG PALEMBANG, Palembang, comma Indonesia. So Jakarta Palembang एरिया में हुए थे, इंडोनेशिया. ओके, ठीक, इंडोनेशिया. नेक्स्ट 2022 होने वाले 2022 डैश हांगझाओ HANGZHOU. I repeat, HANGZHOU, comma China, China, हांगझाओ चाइना. और लास्ट पॉइंट हम इस सेशन में लिखने वाले हैं 2026 एशियन गेम्स. हर 4 साल होते हैं, 2018, 2022, 2026. राइट. आईची नागोया, AICHI, repeat, AICHI hyphen Nagoya, 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 comma Japan, Japan. So that's all, my friends. That's all the time that we have today for today's session. And thanks for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this video talk. Hope you learned some good stuff today. Join us again tomorrow, and we'll carry on with this discussion. Thank you for being here. Thank you.